I think that's been dropped too many times.
Go on, can you tilt it? Oh yeah, it's like a light leak.
Oh, maybe if we move.
Yeah, I think it's just a light leak. I think.
Let's wake up sleepy Wilton.
Sorry, guys.
Now this place is actually quite well known in the car world, isn't it?
Well, you know what? I didn't work it out until you said, "Let's go to Wilton." I was like, "Yeah, whatever." And then Wilton House.
You came here and it was Wilton House.
Yeah.
It's too early in the morning.
The wedding party gets going right now.
If you haven't been able to tell, we are en route to a very special wedding. None other than Mr. JWW is getting married today. This is not our wedding attire.
This is not our wedding, I thought you were going to say.
No, we are buying
recent rumours.
Buying an apartment.
Yes, together. We are. We're just not getting married yet. I said yet.
We're taking it a step at a time. But it's James's wedding today, which we're very excited about.
It's crazy.
It is crazy. And you've come down in Tony's McLaren 570S.
I have.
Because your 540C is for sale there.
It's for sale in bits. It's got no number plate on it. It's got no insurance. So that's why I couldn't drive it today, which is sad. But it's quite weird being back in a McLaren that's not mine.
I thought that a couple of hours time to kill before we actually have the wedding, that seeing as we are together, you've just come back from a holiday, you've been refreshed, your brain has been re-energized,
massively,
ready to smash the content. I was like, let's get together, because over the last 7 days we've dropped some pretty crazy news.
Yeah, I called it a bombshell bombshells.
Yeah, that's a pretty good way of looking at it. My video was like basically an ongoing undercurrent for the last 18 months or so of trying to get a mortgage or a mortgage in principle.
But the thing is, you and I first started having these conversations back when you still had the AMG.
Yeah.
Like I remember when you came out to see me in LA and we were talking about this, and you were like, "Yeah, either it's buy a house or buy a Lambo." And like 2 months later, you're like, "I bought a Lambo." I was like, "Dude, you're not going to buy a house now."
And it came down to about, I think it was after the Monaco Formula One, around June time. I think it all sort of started to pick up whilst we were doing Le Mans.
Sure.
So there wasn't much that I could do about it whilst I got back to the UK. I had a lot of time to think about it, and essentially it came down to the decision that I would sell the Lamborghini, I would grow up and make a decision that would sort of be a little bit more stable for the long term, but provide a bit more excitement for the long term and provide a very prosperous future.
Yeah, I understand what you mean by saying like grow up, but like we're quite mature anyway. I like to think.
I'm wearing this shirt.
Yeah, that's a mistake. But no, like what I feel is like YouTube is growing so quickly, changing so quickly.
Yeah.
Like our lives are so different to what they were 6 months ago, a year ago.
Yeah.
And it's hard to keep up. And so to be able to stop that for a second, have a look at the bigger picture and see where you want to be, like try and dictate your future rather than have it dictated to you, is quite a big step, I think.
Your podcast stated that you are selling both of your cars to have an F-Type SVR.
Yes.
Which is a huge step, one that probably wouldn't be seen as a natural progression from a 540C and a sort of hardcore Abarth, but one that is very exciting because I was cruising around with you in the whilst you were driving the F-Type SVR, and F-Spot's video.
Yeah, I know, amazing.
And watching that fly through LA and the sound of that thing got me so excited for when you pick yours up and have more freedom and flexibility to customize it and enjoy ownership rather than just a borrowed one from Jag.
Absolutely.
And in the long run, get excited for a future car.
Yeah, well the thing is I'm not really selling the 540 in the Abarth to buy an SVR. That wasn't necessarily the thinking. I mean, yes, don't get me wrong, I love the SVR, I'm super excited, but it's kind of the situation dictated the car rather than the car dictated the situation.
Yeah.
I wanted to get away from throwing cash at cars that I wasn't using.
Yeah.
Because, you know, both of my cars cost me a lot of money. It was multiple thousands of pounds per month on cars that nowadays I just wasn't using because we get lent so many things. Look at me today. I'm in Tony's 570S. Like, why do I need a 540C if Tony's going to give me the keys to his car for 36 hours? So I was like, I want to get back to just having one car that's affordable that I can use, but also if it sits unused for 6 weeks, that's not a big issue. And I was racking my brains, and for me, the logical choice always is the SVR because I love it. And
you loved it.
I've always loved it. Yeah.
It got announced. the most common word that comes out of your mouth is F-Type SVR.
But also because whenever we toured, it'd be like, what's your, okay, one car garage, right? I'd be like, F-Type SVR. We're like, okay, you got 100 grand, F-Type SVR. It was always my answer. And so when I was sitting there thinking like, oh, I could get a 911 GTS or I could get a Bentley, I was like, no, that's exactly, I was like, why am I messing around here? At least I know I will always love that SVR. And whilst some people might think, oh, it's not a proper supercar, or it's a bit of a downgrade, or you've already had a Jag, I love it. That's why I'm going back.
And over the next 6 months, not only are you going to be documenting an ownership of a car that you truly love and you're buying with your heart, you and I have got some crazy trips lined up.
Mad trips.
That when we're not driving our cars or not driving cars that have been given to us, we're in places that we never saw ourselves ever visiting a year ago.
That's what's unbelievable is how much things are changing and progressing, and as you say, like with you as well, your whole video was about building for the future.
Yeah.
And I think, you know, that was my thinking as well, is cut back on splashing out all this crazy money on cars I'm not using, save
in
a bit.
The present.
Yeah, and build towards more exciting things and trips towards the end of this year, stuff that's coming up. I mean, Vlogari on my side.
I know you are. Come on, guys. We're both going to be out in California at a very similar time as we did last year.
Yep, absolutely.
And then I come back, and around mid-November, I fly out to the Middle East.
Vlogai. Vlog Babby Dabby.
So I'm going to be out in Bahrain for the World Endurance Championship, which I cannot wait. Never been to Bahrain, but I know that circuit like the back of my hand because of F1 2016.
Yeah, of course. That's how we know everything.
And then I'm going to be there for 4 weeks, creating insane content. I was thinking, where can I go whilst the weather sucks here and the sun sets at 1 p.m. in the United Kingdom? Where can I go that gets good weather, crazy supercars?
That's fantastic falafel.
And has a cheesecake factory.
Cheesecake factory, very important.
And I was like, Dubai. So I'm going to be spending a month out there towards the end of the year. I'm going to come back with the sickest tan
I knew that's where you were going with this.
I've ever had. So I'm very excited about that trip, along with California and the BOTB bucket list.
Of course. There's so much that, you know, before I would always say that our year was like March through to July or August, and then it was a bit like, well, what do we do now until top marks?
Exactly.
Whilst unbelievably a bit like last year, but this year even more so. These months are almost more exciting than the beginning of the year.
Exactly. Every year, when we get to December, me and you talk and say, we need to make our January, February and March more exciting. Every year.
Yeah.
And every year we work towards that. And I mean, I'm only going up to the end of 2017 because 2018 is a different story, but we're building up to some really, really epic stuff.
Absolutely.
That doesn't necessarily revolve around the cars that we own.
Okay, so I'm going to put you on the spot because I think as YouTubers it's too easy to be like, guys, there's so much exciting stuff coming up. What is one...
All those secret meetings.
Yeah, exactly. I'm so busy with meetings today. Is there like one trip in mind that you want to do, somewhere you want to go, or one style of content? Just something. What is... Because I know in my head the stuff, I mean, Vlogari is a part of that, but what for you...
What I am most excited about isn't necessarily one video or one trip. It's a journey. And again, super cliche for YouTube to say that.
Cliche.
I thought I was going to scrape then. If you haven't noticed, we've got lost and I'm turning around. It is to get back into the daily vlog routine.
Okay, so you think you're going to, as in daily uploads, or you're just going to try and make as many vloggy style videos as possible?
Definitely as many vloggy style videos as possible, which will be focusing on documenting the transition of going from owning this car to owning my first property, and basically life living with a pretty stupid car.
Sure.
And balancing it with owning a first property.
Okay.
So that tied in with a month in the Middle East, time in California. What am I indicating?
Do you know how to use this car? Shows how much you drive this rental.
But it is definitely honing in on a vlogging style, documenting my day-to-day activities so people feel like they're in the passenger seat of every car that I drive, or they're sitting in the living room with me in this fantasy mystery property that one day I will own.
Sure.
But it's more of a bigger picture actually, rather than like a one trip, one video thing.
General vibe.
General vibe. In the meantime, when this car is up for sale, which is up for sale now, and is the one of 2 Orencio Borelius -2s in the country, I'm going to be doing some stuff to my M3.
Okay.
So I'm now thinking...
Put an exhaust on it?
No. I can't put 2 exhaust systems on a car that only needs 1. As much as I'd like to, and I've had to ask the question, I'm going to obviously get the wheels on once the tyres arrive. I'm going to lower it, I'm going to rewrap it, and then I'm basically going to see how it looks from there and see whether I can put some exterior carbon fibre bits on it and make it just
mental.
Very, very cool, so that I can just drift everywhere.
A BMW owner's dream.
The M-Power.
Are you going to get an M-Power tattoo?
No.
Yeah, you are.
What is it in the next 6 months or so that you're looking forward to?
Yeah, it's. I think in general, I'm not gonna. There's not a revolution happening overnight. The sort of elements that I'm particularly excited about. I am really excited about the podcast. I do love the podcast because I don't tend to feel that comfortable making long discussion videos in cars at the moment. I really like making my style. No.
Right, this video.
But it's great for you. You're very good at it. You're very good at it. But for me, I don't feel. So I like being able to sit down and talk with someone, like having guests, being able to ask them questions and stuff. So that I'm excited for. SeenThroughGlass.com, the new website. Check it out. Link in the description below.
No, I heard it. I'm just concentrating on turning right and also ignoring it.
Oh, perfect. So yeah, building that website, because the hope is that I can make... Oh, we were going on a casual drive. Basically, I'm excited for lots of stuff. Just not dying. That's my thing I'm most excited about.
It's good, this rear-wheel drive car. It puts the power down well.
Property is one of the biggest, like, stress, headache, nosebleed, worry, stay awake all night situations I've ever experienced in my entire life. Like,
I'm not really looking forward to that.
No.
Actually.
I mean, I keep all my fingers crossed for you. Maybe you'll have a great time. No.
Oh, actually, talking about that, I still have my deposit in the Hurricane Performante Spider.
Do you?
So there was a lot of questions actually, like, well, what happened to the Performante Spider?
Take that back. Put it into the house. What are you doing? Nothing.
So I am selling the Hurricane, but my name is quite high up on the list. So my plan on that car potentially would be to run it for a 6-month period, enjoy it, and then get rid of it.
When are they supposed to be coming?
They haven't been announced yet.
So you need to get a house before that.
Yeah.
Pressure's on.
That's where we should have gone.
Cool, good, great. Great to be lost again.
I'm just thinking that we probably should try and get to the wedding.
Yes, I need to get changed.
Well, so do I.
It'd be incredibly rude. Yeah. Oh, I thought that was your outfit.
No.
I didn't want to say
this is my casual wear Monaco shirt that I wear every single time I go to Monaco. Right, I think we need to turn around.
Yes, please.
I need to drop you off at your car.
Yes, please.
And then I think we should probably get ourselves off to the wedding.
Yes, please.
This video is going live slightly delayed, so they would have seen some of the pictures.
I'm assuming so. Like, I should have probably, like, do you know what the deal is? Are we allowed to Insta story from the wedding?
I'm going to Periscope. Live stream the entire
I feel like it's a bit punchy.
I'm not. No.
James, can you speak up? Periscope can't hear you.
I'm getting comments.
James, I've got a question. What's happening to the LT, James?
That is kind of the end of that. And to be honest, that was all I really planned for. I just thought I'd shove a GoPro up and we could have a chat about the videos that we've launched.
You know what this would be really good as?
7 days. A podcast.
A podcast. If you want to come and be a guest on Behind the Glass, available on iTunes, SoundCloud, and SeenThroughGlass.com.
I'll take my guest appearance seriously now that it goes onto iTunes. Before I was like, whatever.
Whatever. It's a waste of time.
Yeah, I was actually just reading through your notes going, no, I don't want to talk about that. Right, yeah, I have now driven way longer than I need to drive.
Put some extra miles on this car.
Put some extra miles on this car, but in all seriousness, this car is going to be for sale at Gravel Car Sales, so I might as well get a plug-in. It's going to be for sale. Best spec in the country.
No, it is, yeah.
In my opinion, it is. And there's only two, and the other one that's orange came from Lamborghini Pangborn as well, and it's got worse spec than this. Smaller wheels. I will see you next week. There are going to be live streams from London. I might appear on Sam's podcast, and I will be packing for my next BOTB episode bucket list.
That's going to be a good vlog.
In Norway.
Oh, that's going to be a good. That's going to be sick. I thought the packing vlog wasn't going to be good.
No.
Cảm ơn các bạn đã theo dõi. Các bạn hãy bấm like, comment và hãy bấm nút đăng ký để ủng hộ cho kênh mình nha.